For entertainment purposes only, all investment involves risk. Do not attempt to make any of the trades shared on our channel. I am not liable for any bad trades you make. Only idiots would listen to a stoner. This is not investment advice, nor am I a financial advisor. My own life isn't even together. Any income garnered from trading is subject to taxation from the IRS, and they will use everything in their power to recover taxes owed, including homing missiles, bloodhounds, and barracudas.
Wall Street had swallowed me up and shit me right back out again.
What's up, YouTube? This is Stock Skills coming at you on a very sad day. Not because I lost a fuckload of money or anything. I was up yesterday. A lot of people were up yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty big day for the market. My buddy let Frank Long-Term Longo raked in, I think he said 7 or 8 grand yesterday. So, yesterday was a pretty good day for most people. And it was for me too. I made a little 600 on this account. I think I made 200 on another account. You know, I do small accounts of stuff. But, yeah, I had a pretty good day, but I had a huge day actually in my hands, and I fumbled it. Potentially $400,000 is what I've calculated so far. And it's important as a trader that you should look back on your blunders as well as your successes. You need to figure out what you did wrong and how you can improve to make yourself better each trade. And I want to cover one trade in particular, well, a series of trades in particular that, if done correctly, could have netted me $408,000, but they didn't. And I want to show where I went wrong, so that way not only I can learn from this, but other people can also learn. So first we're going to start off on what the fuck we're talking about. That's 3D systems. Now I've been in 3D systems for quite a time. Let's go into the account history. These are the big transactions in question that happened on December 23rd. And that's by not even a long stretch. That's nowhere near my first trades with 3D systems. I've been trading 3D systems for a long time. And for a long time they went a lot of nowhere. And out of hold on, let me not say that. You see on the chart here, they pop all the time, and here we have another big pop happening right now. And that's the big talk of the town right now. But they're known to pop, but they never really get too big. You know, they top off at about 20 bucks, but that's not the case this go around. And I want to explain why this, a little bit about this blunder here. 3D Systems Corporation is headquartered in Rock Hill, South Carolina. That's about a 30-minute drive from me here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's pretty good to invest in companies local to you, and if you really needed to, you could go down and actually see what your money's backing. But so we see here on the 3-month, we've had pretty much no action. They've been down from they've been at $6. They've been up to 12.22, which is oh, beautiful. You see highlighted on my screen, it says December 23rd, 2020 is at this point. That's the day we're talking about where I bought my $12.50 call. We were clearly, as the graph shows in the 3 months, we were clearly on track to hit $12.50. So I made the call, and in typical stock market fashion, the instant I bought that call, it went in the money and then went back the fuck out, and it crashed. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm so gassy right now. I'm so sorry. But it immediately crashed. Let's go into the 1 month. Here we have the 23rd here today too, this little peak. And here you see it went in the money just briefly for that day, and then it immediately fell back out throughout the remainder of the day. And that's just, I don't know, that's just typical for my life, is when I sell things, they go up, and when I buy things, they go down. But I still want to stay in, because I'm sure one of these times I'll get it right. So here we bought in at $80. We paid for this ticket, and it went all the way down. the whole way. It just kept going, and it showed it showed a slight chance of recovery here on the 5th. It started to pop up, and that's what made me like really hopeful to hold on to it. I was hoping I was going to be able to get my $80 back, right? Well, then the morning of January 5th happened, or 6th, is that? January 7th. That morning happened, and boy, I lost it. I'm going to put on screen right now. Here's a picture I sent to my buddy that morning when it was at 1440, and I had it. The call was worthless the day before. So that being said, we're going to get into some calculations here about what happened and how I could have had $140,000 or $400,000. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be making these kind of mistakes, but it is what it is. So that happened, and I had a couple blunders, and I ended up selling out right here at this peak, and then I bought in again right about here, and then sold out at this fucking little dip at the very end, literally at the low point today, 2004. I ended up selling because it was such a panic shoot. I had gotten in so late the day before, right? Because it had done all these gains. It gained another $5, but then promptly lost it, and I ended up the day in the red, and then it immediately tanked back into the red again this morning, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm not about to ride this. This is a pop. It was pretty volatile. I was pretty sure that it could equally go down, so I got out, and I'm kind of kicking myself right now. I could have had an extra $500 just from today's trade, but it is what it is. You live and you learn, and that's kind of what this video is about, is getting over the fact that I missed out really fucking big. So here we'll get down to the trades in question. You see, I had been trading 3D. I sold a call here earlier that day for a lower strike price, and I bought one in at a higher strike price, and I guess I canceled that one, and I got in at a better deal, or maybe a worse deal, I don't know, but I paid $80 for it. I got one contract for $80, and that was the $12.50 call to expire on January 8th, today. Alright, so that's my purchase. As we see on the phone chart, it went all the way down to worthless, $1. And we now know that if you purchase a contract, you can't pay $1 for a contract. You got to pay $5. So let me scroll back up past all these other trades that happened in the 2 weeks here, playing with doggy coin and all sorts of stuff. Let's see. January 7th. Here we go. Okay. So, when this day happened, I got out earlier that morning at 9:45. It had gone to a nice peak, then it had hooked downward, and I sold out. I made $120 off of this contract by selling it for $200, and we turned profit. So I was happy about that. But then things continued to go up, and continued to go up, and continued to go up, and I had no choice but to get back in. I thought they were going to go down. Let me go back to their chart here. So they started going up, and then they hooked down. Let's see, here's where they had finally worked their way up to 1450, and I went ahead and I cashed out. And they started going up, and I swore any second now they were going to pop and turn back down, right? Because that was wildly uncharacteristic for all the data I've had in my head up until this point. So I'm waiting and waiting, and it never turned down. So then right here at 2058, I believe. No, 2058 is what it actually equaled out to. I bought in 2 times. I bought in once here. Let me go down to the transactions. Alright, yeah, so I don't even need this one anymore. We saw that I purchased that option, and that's why that tab was open. So then here, with no position in it, I purchased 11 shares at 1961, and then I purchased 45 more at 2082. And it kept me on edge for a while, but then, let's see, right about here, It had kept me on edge for a while, and it kind of made me want to look like I wanted to lose money, but then it took off. So I go to try to sell up here, right? And absolutely, everybody here knows that I love the day trade. I think that's the safest and most efficient way to make money, and there was no reason that I had to ride this downhill. And boy, would you believe it, when we got to $25 and I go to hit that sell token and clean house on my $250 because I have a feeling it's about to crash, guess what happens? You have made your 3 day trades already. Oh my God, I got locked in. And there is nothing more terrifying, at least to a day trader, even if I shouldn't be day trading, there's nothing more terrifying than being in a position saying, sell, 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 and then no, you cannot fucking sell. And they force you to ride this whole wave down. It was absolutely disgusting as I'm going through Walmart, just watching money evaporate and then start turning negative, and I still can't do anything about it. But luckily it came back up, and it actually turned profitable for the end of the day. But then promptly the next morning, this morning, it tanked. And here you see at 20:04 is where it hit its low. Let me go to the 1 day now. So it started off up here. The line is up here where they closed. That was at 23. Let me get the intersecting point. It was at like $23. That dotted line is where it closed yesterday. So it dropped immediately first thing in the morning, and then it continued to drop. And I mean, I didn't want to lose all of what I had. I already felt bad about getting in on that so late, but I just had that FOMO when I bought in. But the FOMO also comes with a lot of risk when you purchase somewhere near the top of a fucking peak. Like these idiots who bought this shit right here, fucking clapped. They may get their money back, maybe it'll keep popping, but my forecast for considering all the activity that's happened is that's the wrap. These guys got fucking thunderclapped from hell, and they're going to pay 30-something bucks, and they're not going to see their returns. They're either going to have to take losses, or they're not going to be able to cash out for quite a bit. Just like these guys who bought in at 22, and then they fucking got clapped, and they had no way to get out. What was this? Back in May 19th, and then they were just stuck on that fucking ride till August 24th, and that would be their next chance to take minimal losses. Other than that, they were stuck on this ride from May 26th till today. So that's something to keep in mind. Oh, no, excuse me. That's May 26th, 2017. They've been on anybody who bought right here hasn't seen profit in over 3 years. But today, if they were holding on and they didn't take their losses, they got their money back. But still, holding on to something for 3 years, in my opinion, is completely asinine. There's no reason to do it. Because if it's losing, that's time that money could be on another train going the other fucking direction. So that's what's going on with that. Let's cut back to the 1 day. So in typical my luck fashion, I have the worst luck in the world. Now, it says that I sold out at the bottom, and I did, but I didn't get the lowest sell. Somebody else got fucked worse than I did. Can I get the... Yeah, here we go. So the low today was 1960. So somebody got fucked a little harder than me. Or they may not have gotten fucked. They may have gotten in earlier. But I didn't sell at the absolute bottom. But literally it seems as my luck goes, as soon as I buy something it goes down. As soon as I sell something it goes up. And that's exactly what happened. I sold here 56 shares at 20.04 to cut my losses before I started losing too much. At this point I had lost $20. I lost $20 at this point, and I wasn't interested in it going anymore. I felt that pop was over. But nope, the simple fact that I sold right here has then triggered an entire nother pop to go all the way up to 30.75. A whole nother $10 per 56 shares. That's $560 that I had missed out on just because of that. But this isn't even the big kahuna. So as we said, we were talking about the options. And that's where all the money is. That's where all the risk and all the reward is. So, let me go down to my... Okay, so we remember that I sold the $12.50 call for $200. And I purchased it for $80. Now we go in here, expiring today, January 8th. I already have it brought up. The $12.50 call. Now, this is following the spike, but right now, if I were to have held it till right now, instead of taking $200, I could have taken $1,370. And that's just the a low after the fact. I have here in Paint a screenshot from where it was actually worth $1,570. People were paying this to get this contract at that price. People were asking $1,700 for it. So we're talking about retarded gains. So let me pull up I'll save. So now let me pull up my whiteboard here, and let's go over some of the stuff that we have written down. Let me see. Alright. We have D call 12.5 on the 8th. And the day before, buy-in $80, went worthless, and on went worthless to 1/6 was when it went worthless, and then on 1/7 it popped. So that being said, on this day you could have purchased it for $5 a piece. So, and people would have been eating you alive for this. You would have been able to get these all day long for weeks, right? So, that being said, we now saw that today on 1/8 it was worth, let's just keep it minimal here, $1,500. So you're saying, Scott, how are you getting from $5 or $200 or even $1,500? How are you getting to this $400,000 mark that you keep claiming, right? And I'll explain it to you. It's in a side trade, and I'll get to that right now. So we go into my account, no, not the account, the portfolio, and down here we have 9 meters pharmaceuticals, right? And I have 500 shares. I've since moved a lot of my position back into it to go with my original assessment of it. But I had read something about a guy from JP Morgan had given this thing a price target of $4. So I bought in immediately on 1,000 shares. And I figured I may have to hold it for a while, but I'm trying to do things more the way Frank Long-Term Longo likes to do them anyway. I like his returns. I like my way better, but I think I could do better if I didn't have the restrictions that I do. So we're going to take an account up to $25,000, and then we're going to really kick off day trading camp. But since I have to fight the SEC limitations or whatever the fuck it is, I've been trying to grow it over a slower pace, but still try to find those exponential returns that I like. So 9 meters biofarm was the ticket. And as we see here, let's see this calls. Here's our history on it. Show more. Alright, so we bought in originally for $135, and then we bought in again another 900 shares later for $12.06. Okay, so let's go ahead and tally those in together. 135 plus 1206. So that's $1,341 that I sunk into these guys. Okay? On January 6th. The reason why this is important and why I'm including them is because this is the day before 3D popped. And it was worthless at this point. You could get them for $5 a pop. So on January 6th here, when I bought my 1,000 shares, if I had then taken that money instead and bought those calls, all of them, and instead dumped this money into 3D systems, that would mean I would need to take this money and divide it by $5, and that's going to give me how many contracts that I could afford. That's 268.2. So obviously, you can't own 0.2 of a contract. So that's 268 contracts. So my 1,300, we're not even going to do real math here. We're going to just make up shit. Divided into 5 gave me 268, right? And so that 268 is how many contracts we would have. Now you need to multiply that 268 times 1,500. So we'll pull this on down. 268 times 1,500, which is what it was worth earlier today. Let's see, calculator. 268 times 1,500, $402,000. So you've now read it straight in your face, and you've seen the trades that happened in sequential order. If I had instead taken this money that I put towards 1,000 shares on the JP Morgan guys call, and instead I put it on the 3D call that I had already owned one of, and I bought 268 more of them, and then sold out today sometime around this peak, I had $402,000. Oh, let me get that fucking fancy pen around here, bro. This thing absolutely deserves fancy pen. Yeah, give me the big one. Yo, $400,000 potential. So I want to make it very clear that you're never more than a day or two away from being a millionaire. Regardless what you have, I mean, I don't know. I can't make that bold of a statement. If you have $5, there's no chance that you're going to be a millionaire. I mean, it is possible technically if you were to buy, a fuckload of 10-cent stocks and then the next day they went to $100. Absolutely, you'll be a millionaire. But that's not very likely. And that's another thing that I want to get into about these calls, is they're not very likely. The play that was worth $400,000, let me switch to another pen color and explain this all the way through so there's no confusion here. The play that was worth $400,000 was taking $1,300, dividing it into 5, and getting, or no, let me write this differently. Okay, $1,300, divide it into 268 of the $5 contracts. So we'll put a dollar sign here too. So if we took $1,300 and we divided it into 268 $5 contracts, then that would have sold today times, I don't even know how the fuck I'm writing this shit, times 1,500 and that would equal your $402,000. So the play that I missed out on, and nobody had any way of knowing that this was possible, but except in retrospect. Could have become $402,000. And you've seen the numbers in the historical charts. It was right there. God damn this fucking thing. Nobody in a million years would have tried that. Okay? We're talking about taking a call and saying that taking something that was deemed worthless. It had shown no signs of growing back. And it went to sink. I don't know. I guess some people wouldn't mind sinking. Oh, what the hell is this? I guess some people wouldn't mind sinking $1,300 because that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. But that was, I think, about a third of that account. So sinking $1,300 into there on a known losing ticket that only had 2 days left to gain. So it had, for something that over the, how do I even say this? Over the course of 3 months, 3-month average change. Okay, yeah, that's how we're going to do it. 3-month average change was plus or minus $1. We'll get brave. $2. 3-month average change was $2. And you're saying to throw down 268 bets that this thing was going to gain at least $2.50 in 2 days. Nobody in a million years would have placed a bet that something that changes $2 at best on average over 3 months. That's 3 months of change it takes to make $2 of change. 3 months. And the bet was that it would go at least $2.50 in 2 days. Because it only had 2 days left on the expiration before it was completely gone and in the past. And nobody in the world would have put 268 bets on that. But if they did, that play was potentially worth $402,000. So I'm feeling a little salty. It was in my hands, and obviously the play is bigger for people who had more money. Anybody who had more money was able to put more on that position, and that honestly was potentially, that play could have made multiple millionaires today and yesterday. Probably could have made some billionaires even, because it had grown 104,000% that day. So it was absolutely outrageous. Huge money to be made, and I made some on it. I made about I'd say 600 plus 200. I probably made about $800 off of that. So while I'm up, I'm still partially salty about not getting the fact that I literally fumbled $402,000. Like, it was in my hands and just dropped it all over. But you live and you learn, and that's something that's, I think the big take home here today is that this was even possible. 9 times out of 10 you forget that this is even possible. This happened with Blink also. My buddy Frank put me up on Blink, and we got in at like $7-8, and then it skyrocketed to 50. So while it's actually, yeah, that's pretty comparable actually. So these pops do happen. And I've been actively trading on, I didn't get in on Robinhood till like 4 months ago. So I've been actively trading for the last 4 months, and I've already seen 2 of these massive pops. One, like I said, Frank Longo had eyeballed for me, and then I eyeballed this one myself. And it's just something to pay attention to. You need to go back over your blunders. You need to go back over your successes, and you need to see what you did right and what you did wrong. And in this case, this is a situation where I did wrong. I panicked. I shouldn't have panic sold in the highs and the lows. I wasn't, it caught me off guard. This wasn't normal, and just out of left field, this thing gained 150%, almost 200% at one point today, I believe, right? Wasn't that $30 like 200%? Hold on, let me go to the week. 186%. So it was almost a money triple today. So it caught me off guard. I panicked, and while I made money, I didn't make anywhere near what I should have. So I'm feeling a little down about it, and I wanted to get that off of my chest. I also wanted to prove that that's possible to people, and I wanted people to actually see the numbers behind it. And I guess try to learn from my mistake. Don't panic when you see this thing. Hang on, see what happens. And if you're a guy like me and you're one of the people, because I know I'm not the only one, but if you're one of the people that sells went to cut your losses and then it immediately always turns around, maybe try to fight your urges. That's one thing I'm going to have to learn to work on. Because I saw myself losing like $500 when this started to go down. So I sold, and I cut it to $20, and I was wrong. I could have made $500. So, anyways, I'm starting to get a little long-winded, so I hope everybody learned something from this. I certainly did, and here's to more fruitful days up ahead. Anyways, later, traders.